Hello and welcome to Mass Communications Topic Talk. I'm Jonathan Weed. Thanks so much for watching. On this month's show, we're talking about an internship that can prepare you for your career. And today, we're welcoming, joining me today is our internship resources on campus, which are Rachel Proctor and our own Dr. Danielle Devers, who is the Mass Communication Internship Coordinator. So thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Jonathan.
With our first question, I'm going to direct it to Dr. Devers, is so how do you prepare Mass Comm students for an internship?
Well, I think the first thing that we have to do for mass communication students to prepare for an internship is just to have them understand what an internship is. An internship is really a wonderful experience for students to get hands-on learning with an organization that would simulate what the first step in the career is. So once you understand that an internship is really just that first step and first view into professional life, I think it becomes a lot less intimidating. And then the second thing that I want students to understand is why you need an internship. Particularly in mass communication fields, having hands-on experience, having portfolio experience to be able to show off your work and your skills is critically important. And so having an internship really allows you to do that at a more professional level. We know that entry-level jobs within the media field often require anywhere from 1 to 3 years of experience. And so a lot of students are concerned, how can I get that if I'm in school? Well, internships are a wonderful place to start.
And is there any other places on campus that would not only internships, but filming opportunities, newscast opportunities? Is there anything like that that students can get a hands-on approach to at the beginning, freshman, sophomore, right out of high school?
Yes, in fact, we encourage all mass communication students to begin early. You're an excellent example of that, being able to be involved in ValloVision News, whether that's the digital site or the newscast, getting involved in the Alabamian, the student newspaper, Montage, the yearbook. And then there are many organizations on campus who are looking for good storytellers. We have our athletics department who needs people to help with social media. Or if you're involved in a club or an organization, volunteer to be their communication chair, volunteer to run their social media or their digital website. All of these are hands-on experiences that can really help round our students out professionally and even get their portfolio ready for their junior year when they're applying out to internships later, because even internships can be pretty competitive.
That's right, and scary, a scary thing.
Yes.
But, so my next question is to you, Rachel. What are the qualifications for a Mass Comm major to apply for an internship? And it may be even directed to you because you're more of the Mass Comm
Sure.
person. So do y'all know what is the qualifications for someone that's wanting to get an internship, and what do they need to do?
I'll definitely let Dr. Devers speak to the specifics, but I would just introduce the idea to a lot of our students. One of the biggest requirements is really just how driven are you to pursue these opportunities.
They're out there available. It's less about sitting and waiting for them to come to you and more about you taking the initiative and approaching opportunities that may not be advertised in any way. So reaching out and asking, hi, I'm wondering what opportunities you have available to me. Most of that we can help with is teaching the initiative how to send that professional email, how to reach out and network in that way. And that's one of really the first requirements is, do you have the initiative to take the step? And from there, the academic side, I'm sure Dr. Devers could add.
And I think that that's a wonderful place to start, Rachel. I think a lot of students don't know where to look. They don't, even if they have that drive or that desire, they don't know where to look. And so your office is an excellent place to begin that search, whether that's on the website in the internships and job postings that you have regularly, or going to see your advisor. If you're in a specific field like mass communication and you're looking for networking opportunities within your own program, your advisor or an internship coordinator can really help with that. So in terms of what qualifications you need as a mass communications student, we really need you to have 60 credit hours of experience because we want you to have enough of a foundation in the curriculum and the program to be able to promote yourself professionally in a workplace. You also need a GPA of 2.5 and at least 15 hours of mass communication classes under your belt. So these internships are really geared towards juniors and seniors who are already thinking about opportunities to work outside of the classroom and get that hands-on experience that will get them ready for the next level.
So that's why, like stated earlier, we need to get them, freshmen and sophomores need to be thinking, I need to get, video on the court, in the newsroom, stuff like that, and then they can do stuff like that. So I completely agree. So, we're going, we just had a pandemic, and it shook things up, on its head. But what do y'all see employers looking for now in the job market since it's, it's so open now?
I do think if you go back to the idea of initiative and taking charge, a lot of employers are looking for that. In the midst of this great resignation thing, people are hurting for employees. And so it's less about how qualified are you. If you're going on an interview, then you're qualified to be there most of the time. So what do you have that sets you apart? And these experiential learning opportunities, these internship opportunities, that's what's going to set students apart from other candidates. It's how do we phrase these things on your resume, even if it's not an academic internship, even if it's a volunteer opportunity that you have agreed to call an internship. There are ways that you can approach these on a resume or on a cover letter that let employers know that you've taken that extra step.
Right. Given the pandemic, what are employers looking for now?
Well, one of the opportunities that the pandemic opened up for students is the ability to work remotely. A lot of companies really didn't have remote internships available, and so more remote opportunities for students are growing because of the structure of work from home and also remote opportunities within the company. And so, for example, if you wanted to work for a big name like CNN previously, you had to move for a couple of months, you had to be paying for Atlanta, Georgia, and that's very hard for a lot of students to do. And so being able to work with large name brands has really opened up some opportunities for the pandemic. So students shouldn't shy away from those remote opportunities, they should really embrace them. But fortunately, as a lot of our organizations locally begin opening up, it also gives us the opportunity to shadow and be in person again. And so I think we'll start seeing a lot more opportunities with employers coming up in the next few months.
Right, so anyone or a student may argue, well, I'm not going to be there in person, like I'm not going to make those connections, so why even do it remote? So iterate once again why, even though you're not making that connection there in person, that it's critical to get that internship even though it's remote.
Well, so any kind of experience that you can get, regardless of the form or the medium of that experience, is very important. Just like Rachel said before, even a volunteer opportunity allows you to extend your portfolio, your resume, and really stand out to a new employer. And the great thing about remote internships is it allows you to work with larger name brands that when you're on the job market, if you have an internship with a CNN or New York Times or a larger name brand like that, that gets more brand recognition and shows the credibility of your work more so than working with more of a smaller local organization where you'll have to explain what that work was about. And so really any experience, regardless of whether it's with a smaller organization, a large one, name brand, nonprofit, or even volunteer, is much more helpful than even just performing regular coursework. We love our classes, but experience is what matters.
And another important point is we often focus on the physical toll of the stress of what we actually have to do for an internship. Let's start talking about the mental impact of what it has on a new student or a student that may be going out of or about to receive their degree, because it really does take a mental toll on a lot of interns, especially if they don't have the means or something like that. So sort of explain to me what could prepare them mentally for the internship or part-time world.
I think you touched on an important point, especially in this post-pandemic world. We're seeing a lot of mental health issues, and that is not unique to our interns, but it's a unique situation for our interns. So a lot of these experiences that are supposed to be new and exciting and in person, and you have this mentorship relationship, they're not happening in the same way. You know, you had this track before that made sense, and now it has to be a little bit different. It has to be unique to the situation or to the location. So we over in the Career Center we're career counselors, and all of us are qualified as counselors. So we'd like to say that as counselors, we meet you where you are, and that depends on your specific situation. One Mass Comm intern is not the same as another, and your goals are not going to be the same. So how can we help you in your unique situation get to where you want to go? Because some people have different plans, and that's okay. And we want all of our students to know that that's perfectly valid. And whatever we can do to be a resource and to validate that situation, please let us.
Right. How about you, Dr. Devers? Have you experienced anyone in the Mass Comm program, or had the experience with yourself just facing a challenge, you know, mentally going into an internship, going into a job, and sort of laying out how do I prepare myself for this?
Right. Well, just like Rachel was saying, I think those relationships with your faculty, with advisors, and hopefully with me as an internship coordinator can really help you understand the transition a lot better. For instance, we have students who say, I could never take an internship that's not paid. And while that may limit, you know, some opportunities, that doesn't mean it's impossible. And then we know better how to help and serve you. And so we hope all of our interns are paid. In fact, that's something we would love more to be adopted industry-wide. But that's not always the case, particularly in legacy media outlets. And so we want to make sure that our students are being honest with us, telling us what their needs are, what their goals are. And if you're not having those open dialogues with a career counselor or an advisor or a coordinator, then we don't know how best to serve you.
And it can seem very alone. Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
And I think confidence is the #1 hindrance for students not being able to feel qualified for an internship. We are so blessed at the University of Montevallo to have the work opportunities in class that prepare our students better than some people who do full internships you know, and go to other programs that don't have a ValloVision News and Alabamian. You know, the faculty who have the work experience that can simulate what a work environment is in the classroom. Our students and our candidates for internships are very well prepared to go in and apply for any job or any internship that they want. They just have to have the confidence in themselves and their skills to do that.
Well, how can students reach out to both of y'all if they have any kind of questions, concerns, or anything? We'll start with you, Rachel.
Absolutely. So we're located just over in Farmer Hall, and we're just past the Student Life office on the 2nd floor. And you can come by anytime. We love to have students pop in and schedule an appointment with a counselor. Call us, go to our website, follow us on Instagram. We're out there, and we're definitely pretty low risk. So come and see us. Let us know how we can help you, and we're glad to see any students, especially. So tell your friends as well.
And how about you, Dr. Devers?
So I have office hours Monday through Friday where people can get in contact with me. We also have our website, montevallo.edu/MC, and then we have an entire internship page where people can see the qualifications that are needed, fill out the application, and just get connected to the right resources. But my advice is start talking about internships from freshman year with your advisor during every advising appointment so that it doesn't hit you at junior year and you're scrambling to find something. Instead, have it be something that you commit to in your 4-year plan to ensure that you're getting experiential learning opportunities that will help you far beyond graduation.
time to take a quick break. When we come back, Sydney Young will be here to talk with a student and a real-world internship supervisor about what students can expect from their internship experiences. We'll be right back.
Create your future as a social media manager, filmmaker, journalist, and so much more with a degree in communication studies and mass communication. Visit montevallo.edu/COFA for more information. You belong at Montevallo.
Welcome back to this Mass Communication Topic Talk. I'm Sydney Young. Joining us is Honora Gathings, Executive Director of the Kiwanis Club of Birmingham, and Senior Victoria Wright to speak about intern experience. Thanks so much for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So, Honora, I want to start with you. So, I kind of wanted to know what is it that you're looking for, like specific characteristics when you're looking for an intern?
Well, I think Dr. Devers touched on some of these qualities. Is first and foremost, I want someone that's going to show up with a positive attitude, ready to work. It'd be great if you checked all the boxes and you have the particular skill set that I'm looking for, but more than anything else, I want someone that has a desire to learn, that has a commitment to show up, and I know I can rely on them to show up on time, be professional, and someone that is also open to getting feedback, because I think that's an important part of the internship process.
That's great. Yes, of course. So, if you obviously have a lot of people that will apply for an internship with you, and let's say you have many people that, meet a lot of these characteristics and qualifications that you're looking for, what is going to make them stand out of all of these qualifications, make you say, I have to have this person intern with me today?
I think it's something that really applies not just to communications internships, but to jobs in general. It is a high demand market. You are applying against so many other applicants, but sometimes it's not just what's on the paper, but some of the things that are more important are what's not on the paper. Your ability to communicate to me what it is that you want to get out of the internship, the goals that you have for yourself in life. It goes back to, I really believe in everyone having their personal why, like why you want to do this, what motivates you as a person.
So Victoria, what were you looking for when you were applying for internships?
I was looking for something that would, fulfill me in a way, like something I would be passionate about doing in the long term, not just something that I could do as like a pastime, like because it was a requirement for class, but something that I could really push myself to do for. So when I look for internships, I always find something that I'm interested in or something that I know for the long term that would be good for me.
Okay. So how did you decide where to apply for internships?
Like Dr. Devers mentioned, I went to my advisor first, of course, because I feel like they would have the most information and the vital information to help me find an internship where I'd be comfortable in helping.
Okay, great. So Honora, we're going to go back to you. What do interns at Kiwanis get to learn about on the job?
So I had 4 internships in the course of my career, and I hope you look at an internship as part of your career, because it is a part of your career and a very important part of your career. Because if you ask the right questions, if you find the right opportunity, then it can really launch and jumpstart your career with making contacts, with really figuring out what it is that you want to do, what you don't want to do. So I kind of used all of that when I thought about what it was that I wanted to offer internships at Kiwanis. So we are a very small staff. There's only 3 of us on staff. And so there's a lot of flexibility for interns who are motivated to come in and learn more, do more. Some internships, unfortunately, come down to picking up coffee and making copies of various documents. I had those internships. I do not recommend those internships because you're not going to get anything out of them. You're not going to be pushed professionally. You're not going to have the opportunity to really shine, to make an impression, to also build relationships with your supervisors. So when Victoria started interning with us, the first thing I wanted to do was sit down and figure out what her career goals are, what she wants to do, what she doesn't want to do. I really started with the skills that she had and the things I knew that she knew how to do, and so those were the first tasks. And as I saw that she was able to complete those tasks like really well, like working on our electronic newsletter, doing our social media, helping to run the AV for our Tuesday meetings, and send out just some basic communications tasks, I then started challenging her to take on more responsibilities. She's taken on a lot of design projects. She's going to be completing a video for us. She's redoing our brochure. She's assisting with the relaunch of our website. So for me, it's about, I really love having interns, and this is the perfect opportunity and a safe space for you to really try out a career, to one, see if it's something that you want to do. I highly recommend that if you know what you want to do, go find an internship in that, because you are going to find things that really surprise you about that career that you may or may not like, that may or may not be a breaking point for you. Try out a career that maybe you hadn't thought about. I know for me, some of my best career moves have come by accident. I never would have applied to be executive director of the Kiwanis Club of Birmingham, but someone reached out to me and said, would you be interested? So if anyone ever reaches out to you, view any kind of opportunity with a yes. Go in with an open mind. Like, maybe it's not for you, but it's a great opportunity to brush up on interview skills, to learn more about a different industry. So.
Okay. So how flexible are you with, hours for students that are interning or anything in that aspect?
So because we're so small, because we have lots of projects, because I dream big, we are able to offer quite a bit of flexibility. Now, Victoria came in at a very interesting time for our organization, because after I talked to her about interning, we lost our communications director. So it was a great growth opportunity for Victoria, because I needed someone to really step up and take on more responsibility. So Victoria did. While she was in that role, I did not have a lot of flexibility with Tuesdays because of how our organization operates. But after those Tuesdays, we were able to work it out so she could work remotely. I fully understand. She's a full-time student. That is her first responsibility, and I really want her to thrive as a student. There's no point in her interning if she's not getting her stuff at class done. So, I really do work with students and their schedules, and I think that's important. But I think going into an internship, you should always be upfront with, these are my current commitments, whether it's another part-time job, whether it's your school schedule, and make that very clear in the beginning. The more clear you can set out your expectations and your employer's expectations, the better. It'll be a much happier, smoother experience.
Okay. So Victoria, what's been the best part of your internship for you?
I would say the best part for me has been the environmental experience, because for me personally, I get really anxious about entering into new spaces and not knowing what's going to happen. So definitely that, but also the hands-on experience. You learn so much when you're actually in an organization versus, though classes are great, yes, they're great, we teach great things, but at the same time, you learn more when you're actually thrust into that industry, and you have to find out and cope with different things and be flexible and learn new skills.
And obviously you are still a full-time student and you're also interning, and you do have to juggle both of those at the same time. What has that experience been like, having to, put both of those together?
It's been difficult at times, but it's mostly been enjoyable for me. I feel like I focus on my schoolwork during the day, and then later on in the evening I can do more work for the Kiwanis Club.
Okay, so what has been the best part for you having interns specifically at UM?
Well, so prior to working at the Kiwanis Club, I worked for ABC 3340 for a better part of a decade, and I always took on interns, and my favorite interns always came from UM because they were always so motivated that they got in, they wanted to really immerse themselves, they asked questions. I know when I was an intern, I never asked a lot of questions. I was always afraid that if I asked questions, I was bothering my supervisors. But ask questions. That's the only way to learn. If you get done with a project, ask for something else. Be very communicative with your internship supervisor. And going back to the opportunity, the biggest thing is opportunity. Always say yes. Always enter in with an open mind. I've had people in the course of my career early on that would give me their business card and say, if you ever need X, Y, and Z, call me. Well, it took me probably about over a decade to actually feel comfortable to follow up with someone who said, call me if you need help with this, call me. But I will tell you this, anyone who's giving you their contact information saying, well, if you have questions about this or you want to talk about this, they're not doing that to be nice. They're doing that because they want to genuinely help you. So take up anyone who offers that kind of help. This goes beyond internships, but just start reaching out to people you know in industries that you're interested in. My first job offer did not come by applying to some job posting. I knew that I wanted to report. I kind of wanted to report closer to home. So I came up with a list of markets I wanted to report in, and I sent out emails to all the news directors introducing myself, showing some of my work. I had three I called them informational interviews. I had 3 interviews lined up in Mobile. I had one news director that said, I wish I'd gotten this a week prior because I needed someone and you have been perfect. Can I call you for next time I have an opening? I said yes. Well, 6 months later, I got a call because they had an opening. So just view everything as an opportunity.
And so, Victoria, what advice would you give to anybody that's going into an internship that maybe doesn't really know, what they're going to be looking at?
Definitely be open-minded. Try, like Honora said, try everything, even though it may be not something that you're particularly interested in. I know for me, I'm not very crazy about videography, but I did that for them when I was working there and while I'm still working there. So I would say keep an open mind, definitely, but also be really flexible because things happen and you may never know where you may be needed in the future.
Okay, so be sure to join us for the next month's Topic Talk on Monday, March 7th, okay, when we will be discussing graduate school. And then on April 4th, we'll be talking about sports media. And if you've missed any of our previous Topic Talks, you can check them out on the MassComm YouTube channel. Just search for Montevallo for you. And if you're interested in learning more about UM's mass communication program, visit montevallo.edu/MC. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks to all of our guests for joining us for this month's Topic Talk. We'll see you again next time.